chat with Emily from Off Grid Education, and before we started recording I was having a really great chat with Emily, and we share a bit of commonality, which we're both kind of in the education field. What got you into this?
Off-grid or education?
Both.
Okay, so I've always been super passionate about freedom, personal responsibility, like not relying on the government, basically. So that's where the off-grid came from. My mum's very much the same, and so I was always brought up in that way. And Troy and I, my co-founder, both share a really strong passion for that, to really not be reliant on the government and other people, and to know how the things that are necessary for our lives work. So that's what got me into that, and I guess probably what I do for work in the kind of education space, in providing a lot of online training and things like that, is related, because it's again empowering people to know how things work, to know how to do things themselves, and to just take the power back. So there's the common theme there, really.
So I get a feeling from the pictures in the books that you actually provide a service for people who want to go off-grid in terms of design and build?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a couple of different options. So we do like site visits or consultations. So this might be whether you're doing like a new build, or you might already have existing shed or house, maybe with solar panels, maybe not. You can book in with us, and Troy will really look at your personal situation, your resources, what's your budget, are you going to go new or used, and just provide you with a detailed kind of plan of, okay, this is what would suit your needs and achieve your goal. And then we've also put together online training as well. So this is going to be a bit of a hybrid. So we're going to do both digital, online modules, and then also optional days at Troy's, workshop. So where he's created his off-grid situation, we're doing kind of practical days where people can learn like wiring or some welding, or like whatever it is that they need to learn to fulfill it all. They can learn with us. Someone telling them don't touch that cord, but you can touch that cord. And then we also do look at a bit of installation as well, depending on the projects. So if people feel like, no, you know what, I don't want to learn that stuff, there are some other options too.
I really like the way that you emphasise the education side before you go down the path of just choosing a solution. What drove you to that?
Well, it just seemed, to me it's always just felt very natural, and I think also for Troy, but we really did notice a gap where people are, either starting like to get, an electrical or a waste or some kind of system in place, and they don't actually know how it works. So if anything ever goes wrong, they're again handcuffed, they're reliant on the people that sold it to them. What happens if those people have gone out of business, et cetera, et cetera. And then also the other kind of impetus for it would be around cost. So, so many people we speak to have had quotes to get, off-grid. So in the sense that if the electrical system goes down, the grid, everything still works. That's what I mean when we say off-grid, is that you still have power when the grid has gone down, whether...
You could be off-grid in a city apartment.
Well, you could. You actually, yes. We just need to work on how you're getting that energy in, but yes. So where was I with that? Sorry, cost. So people, have had costs like, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, and that's before they've even, for example, if they've bought a block of land, that's before they even have any structure, So it's a lot of money going out there, and I think there's a lot of myths as well around what's the best option, and, is lithium the only option, and those sorts of things.
So if someone, let's take some hypothetical, someone is just choosing to do a sea change or a tree change, and they're leaving the city or town and wanting to buy a bush block, what advice would you give to them?
Yeah, very good question. And again, like that, it does come back to that education piece, because really, particularly if it's not something, you may also be looking for land that does have existing structures on it, and knowing this information when you go out looking for that property, with whether it may have existing structures, it might not, but having a lot more knowledge around what actually are you wanting to create, what are your goals, and then what will allow you to fulfill those goals. It's super important at that early stage because it will save you a lot of money and time and stress, down the track. Knowing, what size roof do I need is, a big part. Or if I'm not going to have a big roof, do I have extra space for more solar panels? If that's something that is, interesting to you.
It seems
and
like
away you
what
want
you're
to go.
doing is actually just telling people a bit of common sense.
Yes.
Before they pull out their wallet and their checkbook and spend a whole lot of money on something they think they need.
That's exactly. They think they need it, but maybe they do, maybe they don't.
And I like the fact you've got, education's up front. You're looking at actually running courses, not just theory, but also practical courses. I suppose that's to give people a taste.
That's right. Yep, definitely to give them a taste. I think also for them to really go, can we really do this?
Yeah.
Particularly if they were potentially looking at, maybe they bought some property and they wanted to put some kind of structure on it where they could spend the weekend, or they could, have it just as like a bug out, or, just having this extra sort of space. Could I really do this? Because I think a lot of us are more capable than we think. And I think if you have the right knowledge, and also if you have people that are compassionate and understand that we're all, for some people they might have never touched a hammer, or so just being able to communicate and be like, wherever you're at is okay, and you can come along and see, is this going to be for you? Could I really do the whole thing? Yeah. So
I really love this book here, which is really Troy's story, and it's just a lovely little flip book with the steps that went through.
Totally.
Is this available?
Yeah. So I'm sure you're going to share a link or something later, and so if you go to the link that Glenn will share
down there,
you can get the digital copies. So that'll come out to you straight away, and so that's a great little case study and all the pictures and costs, and then also we've got some other training kind of around like budgeting, small, medium, large, what kind of, electrical system potentially would suit you. Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Emily.
Awesome.
Okay.
Bye.